Hello. Welcome, AT2 Productions, Jared. Nice to see you.
Pleasure. This should be a rather illuminating experience this afternoon.
Illuminating? I don't know about that. I can guarantee there'll be some laughs. There'll be some contrary issues. There'll be otters. I mean, they throw a lot of otters in the chat. I can see some already. Are you able to see the chat at all?
I am looking at the chat. I have it popped out right over here, so yeah, I can see we're already getting a wonderful group of people together, which is always fantastic to see, but I'm not sure if they're ready for this level of asshole that I can be, but you know what? It will really depend on the situations that come up. I mean,
you know what? I welcome the arsehole in everyone. Okay. And you know what? You're thrilling me right now because we need some serious asshole to make this work. So I'm gonna just on that note, if you're willing to be this arsehole, I'm just gonna pull one right up and we're gonna get right to it because I think this is gonna be good. Say hello to Mrs. Cassandra and Mr. Sirius, thank you, and Sunny D. Puddle, thanks for being here. I hope you have your BAM hammer ready just in case. And let's go and share the first one. I hope you're ready for this.
You know, the only way to be ready is to dive right in and just get to the meat of it.
All right. I'm gonna bring it for you then. Here we go. All right. You may not be able to read it very big, but I'll read it to you because it's it goes quick that way. So, ready?
It'll work.
Am I the asshole for asking my coworker to not call me by pet names? And this is a good one for me because I have issue. People have seen me in chats get called pet names, and it's not good. I have a new coworker, 20-year-old male, who calls everyone things like babe, hun, and sweetie, etc. I'm not comfortable with this and took him to the side, told him politely but firmly that while it was nothing personal, I don't like being called by pet names and to only use my name. He rolled his eyes and said, whatever, and was complaining to another coworker that some people are just too sensitive and don't appreciate cute little terms of endearment. It's not that I mind him. I know, right? It's not that I mind him using pet names with other people. I just don't like them from people I'm not in a relationship with. So am I the asshole? Wait, there's an edit. I've heard him call a few guys hun, but I'm pretty sure he knew them and did it as a joke. Otherwise, it's things like bud and dude and stuff. And I talked to the manager about it, and we both don't think he means anything by it, but agree it's inappropriate. So, all right. I'm going to let you go first since you grunted.
Oof. See, I can be a little torn on this one because my wife has a habit of using hun for a lot of different situations. It's just a part of her personality and the way she'll talk to someone that she has an experience with, has a relationship with of a more familial nature. It's part of what's actually made her thrive in what she's done because she can be so personable. However,
go for it. Go on.
You dense motherfucker. Okay, the original poster, no. Yeah. You are not the asshole here because if that telling of the situation is accurate, you did exactly what you should in that situation. Hey, I have a problem with this person doing this thing. Let me not make a big deal of it, pull them to the side, and try to have a conversation with them saying, hey, yeah, this thing you're doing here, I don't mind it if you do it to other people, just no, not with me, not my style, please stop. And the eye roll and whatever. I guess someone doesn't like their balls where they currently are at, because that's a quick way to get them up in your throat.
This is exactly it. Yes, because first of all, it's a work environment. You got no business calling anybody anything but their name, okay? And they're 20. They better learn quick. That's not appropriate. Like, if you're not in a relationship with somebody on a personal level, this is just a coworker, okay? And you're not in any kind of relationship. You're not a friend. I mean, yeah, you call dude, you call bro. I call my girlfriends boo. I call them bitches. I call whatever. But still, that's a relationship. At work, damn, don't do it. Don't call me honey. Don't call me boo. Don't call me anything but Claire. And you know what? If you're going to be 20 and rude like that, you better start calling me Miss Claire. You better call me. You better start, like, you know, maybe even bowing when I walk into the room, because like you said, I am one of those that they could have had their genitalia in a very very, very bad frame. Well, yeah.
And that's the thing is, it's at work. I understand that work cannot be a strictly hardcore uber professional all the time thing, because that's where you do get people stressed out, and you do get things like the whole going postal origin, where if you are too rigid, too hard, too rough in the situation, you can adversely affect the morale and mental health aspect of things. So there's got to be that little bit of, okay, you've been here a while, you've built up rapport with these people, okay, great. But if you're a new guy coming in and doing that shit, oh no, that screams huge personality flaw in the person doing it from the beginning.
Especially when you're asked to only refer to them by their name, and then they start going at you as if you're the one with the problem. I take exception to that, because that happens in like, I don't want to say it's a man thing, it's a woman thing, but with women it happens a lot. They're like, oh, you're so sensitive, babe, like, you know, chill out, like, you know, you shouldn't really have an issue of it. Like, I don't mean to be the condescending fucking asshole I sound like, you know, don't take exception to it. You must understand what I really mean. Don't use the words I'm actually saying.
Here's the cherry on top of it, though. The bitchiness from the fucker that the original poster heard about after the fact, and how, oh, some people are just too sensitive. No, motherfucker, you're a prick for no reason. It's actually, here is a wonderful parallel for the people out there who know this internet personality. I'm sorry for you if you do. And for those who don't, congratulations, you've lived a wonderful life on the internet so far.
of unknowledgeable bliss.
Yes. Darth Dawkins is such a fucking asshole, and he constantly wants to push, oh, I'm not the problem. I always run into these types of people. No. There's a common denominator here. If all of your experiences, or a vast majority of your experiences, lead to the same result, and the only common thread is you, guess where the problem is? It's you.
Yeah. If you got like problem with 10 different people, and you have problem with the 10 different, it's probably you. Yeah. They don't have a problem with anyone. I agree. And in this case, this young man, he's only 20. I hope there are more people at work for the AIT writer that can help educate this 20-year-old, like people like yourself and other people I see in the chat that I know and I deal with on Twitter, that also would think that this is just condescending and just not appropriate, especially if you're asked. I mean, if someone tells you only to refer to me by my name, refer to them by their name. It's just mutual respect. It's just it says more about them than when they try to make fun of you for the request, you know.
Well, exactly. And if you don't mind, I'd like to give a little clue to the audience out there about a short part of our discussion before we went on air. Exactly. Claire here directly asked what I would prefer her to call me on when we're on stream.
You want to tell them you said asshole?
Oh, almost. I was tempted, but it's one of those things where you give respect, you get respect. Respect is earned, not demanded. Yes, everyone starts out. There is a baseline minimum that everyone should start out with when you don't have a history with them. If you completely take a dump on someone when they try to uphold that sort of standard by bringing a problem to your attention, yeah, that respect's out the window.
Yeah.
The only way that guy is going to end up getting ahead is by playing the manipulative, shitty games of ruin someone else to make myself look better instead of, what's that phrase? Oh, yeah, be a better person.
Yeah, you try, but some of them don't let you. I find I've had quite the Twitter and YouTube experience since I started my channel in February. I could tell you that. I came out of the bushes, so to speak, and from seeing everything that's going around, and people are just fucking insane. That's the only way I can put it. They are absolutely ridiculous at sometimes. They currently I'm just here trying to have fun with my channel. I do talk about some serious stuff, but most of it's just fun, and it's insanity what they try to drag you into. I will give grace and kindness to everyone until you really start messing with me or you do something actually to me. Like I don't like to pick sides. I like to hear the whole story. I like to base it on an issue, not a person. I don't like to talk about people. I'll talk about issues and problems, like that. But apparently that's not how it goes on Twitter and YouTube.
Oh no. This environment has fed into a certain mentality and has really stoked the fires of the narcissists out there. Because when you really look at what these platforms feed into to keep themselves viable and going, be honest. Take an honest look at the personality types that thrive on these. It's the people that you don't actually want to be around in a normal, everyday situation. They're in it for themselves. They don't ultimately, if it's a choice between someone they know and claim to be a friend of and some extra pocket money, these people are choosing the pocket money, which should tell you exactly where their intentions lie. So you want more of this kind of stuff? Stop supporting the people that are only in it for the money. Let's get YouTube back to what it was at the beginning.
It is. It's just like, I didn't start a channel for money. I started it to have a voice about certain things, mental health and communication. And mostly I'm interested in cults and true crime and, the way people use language in a manipulative way to control other people. And that's a lot of stuff we talk about, boundaries and stuff. Plus we do the fun stuff because I have a sense of humor and I want it to be a little lighter too. And I just want a community tab. Like I just want enough subscribers to have a community tab so I can run polls and try to communicate with the people that actually subscribe to my channel. So it's slow going, but I am proud of every one of my 500 likes or subscribers that I actually got because I did it without drama, I guess. I didn't do,
You did it without compromising your core values and what you want to do and who you are as a person. That is the biggest thing. If you are true to yourself, doesn't matter what anyone else says. Doesn't matter what anyone else's opinion is. If you are true to yourself, that's ultimately who you have to be accountable towards, yourself.
Yep. That's so true. And then I don't want to make it like I don't want the views, because I do. And I want the subscribers. Like I'm on YouTube, obviously. I want to be seen and I want to be heard. So like, I'm not going to deny that. Obviously, you're here for a reason. But it's definitely not money. And it's definitely not to weigh in on all of the drama and the bullshit. I was like, unless I have an issue. Like I did just recently break a channel rule of my own by not mentioning a certain YouTuber. I usually don't mention any other YouTubers or any other people directly. But I did mention this one because I felt very strongly about a movement getting hijacked and kind of went off a little bit. But it's my rule to break, right? It's like, so I own it, I did it.
Well, and that's the thing is you can set these benchmarks and there will always be extenuating circumstances. And that's the thing that I've found with a lot of these "Am I the asshole" posts that I've read on my own is you can't make the judgment within the first few lines, because what are the circumstances around it? What else is going on? There are times where you can say, okay, I'm not talking about this subject, or I'm not talking about this person, and you're perfectly fine and valid for making that decision. But something might happen where I can't ignore that. I can't let that go unaddressed. Sometimes something like that will come up, and you're still upholding the rule, but you recognize sometimes there are things bigger than ourselves going on.
Mm-hmm. And it really torqued me, that issue. It really did. It was about hijacking the Me Too issue, and being a woman with strong opinions about the Me Too movement being good for actual sexual assault victims and, for advocates and things like that. To have someone use it to just better another claim was appalling to me. I did the same thing when Amber Heard did it against Johnny Depp.
Oh.
Like, I was just, yes.
Yeah, there are situations, and here's the thing, my view on that whole, the grander bubble that is the Me Too movement, I agree that you do need to listen to everyone that claims to have been a victim in some way, shape, or form. You need to listen to them. You need to give them a genuine ear to tell their story.
Exactly.
But leaping from that to automatically saying, yep, this person did it, mm-hmm. when there's nothing to support it other than the singular statement, that's where people go wrong, and that's where people damage the grander plan and the grander purpose of a movement like that itself. Because you can, by trying to appropriate something like that, you can do damage to the genuine good that was started.
Exactly.
Yes, victims need to be able to come out and be heard and should be encouraged to speak out. Listen to them, give them the support they need, but don't just blindly believe them, because that's how you get duped.
Exactly. And when it happens, you're not an advocate. You're taking away from real victims, especially if you're using it just to prove another point that you have, which was the case in here. Like, they were just using it to add on to something else where they already had a case, and it just belittled the whole case when they did that. Like, it's not even in their own best interest to do it that way. There needs to be penalty for people coming forward, but it's a fine line. How do you do that and not limit actual victims coming forward? If the people they file against are allowed to come against them, if a lot of perjury charges get filed, it makes it harder for others to come forward. And that's why I had exception. It just makes it difficult for the ones that really need the protection. So
yeah, and that's where people need to be able to appropriately compartmentalize things. Yes. Mm-hmm. Like the situation that I point to that really solidifies it for me is the whole thing that came up around the confirmation hearings of Brett Kavanaugh.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I don't like the guy. There's something off there, but I can't put my finger on what it is. I have nothing to rationally base my dislike of him as a person. Blasey Ford has claimed to have been a victim. I think she was victimized
in college,
but it doesn't point automatically to Kavanaugh, especially when the people that in her statements she claimed would be able to back her up when questioned couldn't back her up.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah,
And you got to be able to separate it. Yes, I think she was victimized. Not necessarily by Kavanaugh. Not so much so to go against him despite my dislike of him.
right. I mean, I think he's biased. I don't think he should have the position he has because he's clearly biased in opinion. And I don't think that position is one that should be held by someone so biased. That's my only issue. I think he did get Me Too'd a little bit because they didn't want him confirmed. I do. I think he got, they brought up stuff with his drinking and everything from college. I mean, who doesn't drink in college? And I'm not a fan, believe me. Anybody that gets involved with my political view on anything will know that I'm definitely not a Brett Kavanaugh fan. But are you allowed to drink and go to parties and everything in college? Absolutely. Like who didn't? You know, it's part of the college experience that I'm aware of. And I'm not going to hold that against him. But that's not a reason not to confirm him. Yeah.
Shit. I was in the Navy. There's a reason why there's a saying called being drinking like a sailor, because oh boy, can we knock them back and make people worry about us. But let's just remember, if you're walking behind someone and you can tell they're in a U.S. Navy uniform, there's an easy way to tell when they're drunk and sober. If they're drunk, they're walking in a dead straight line and you see no wavering whatsoever. If they're sober, they're all over the place.
This is true. This is definitely true.
Back to that whole nuance with the Kavanaugh issue is what sold it for me, that a lot of what Ford was trying to push couldn't be taken at face value, was the fact when you looked into her history, the only time she came forward about this publicly was every time Kavanaugh was up for a promotion that required some sort of approval process.
Right.
Not just this time, but historically, his last couple judicial appointments. This is when she pops up, which really to me screams, "Oh, honey, you're being manipulated by the political parties." Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's how it looks.
Yeah, definitely a political agenda for there, because I understand people who don't come forward when it is a traumatic experience and they're just trying to deal with it and they need therapy, or they
sometimes
haven't actually dealt with it. Sometimes you need time, but in this case, it wasn't like that. This is definitely only bringing it up to make a point and to cause damage. And that's what I had. That's when the movement gets slandered and gets dirtied up, when people start to do this kind of stuff. It's just not fair. And I don't even like the guy, but I don't want to sit back and watch anybody throwing stuff at him that he doesn't deserve at any time. And if he did do it, fine. She has other recourse too. And there was more than him. There was a whole group of them, from what I understand in the story she tells. It was a whole fraternity of people. And I'm not saying that stuff doesn't happen, because it more than likely does. But if it did happen, she had recourse and she didn't do anything. And she's not bringing any of that evidence up either. So if it wasn't important enough to report it or do anything about it, why is it only important if he wants to hold an office? I don't know.
Yeah, and that's where I understand that not every situation is going to be the same. Not every person is going to be able to come forward with their particular story or situation in the immediate. I get that. But there are times that sitting on it for whatever the amount of period of time is for you to be able to get that comfort to broach it, great. But you got to, at some times, especially when it's a potential high profile like that, you got to make clear that this is not about this other thing that's going on, and actually stick to it and let your actions match your words.
Exactly.
Because once there's a disparity there, your motives are going to be questioned, rightfully so.
I agree 1,000%. Where were you the other day for my stream? You would have been such a great person to have here as the counterpart, because not unfortunately, it was a good stream and a conversation, but it was two women talking about it. And to hear a gentleman come up and have the same kind of view on it, on when to use it and when not to use it, and what happens when you use this movement for ill gain, just nefariously, but
for personal gain. Be it just as much to be able to say, yeah, I stopped that person from getting a promotion. Yay me. Everything from as petty as that to, hey, I got a paycheck from it.
And I have an issue. I have issue when women do that, because they make us all look bad. And I'm tired of being made look bad. I really am.
Yeah.
So like
if you're gonna disparage me or anyone, have it be on the merits of what I did or what they did. Don't put someone else's bullshit on me.
Exactly. Totally. So on that, with the bullshit, let's get back to this AITA. Because Miss Jersey Jojo has a point here to something you said before, that sometimes the AITA stories sound cut and dry, like when you read the title. But then down in the comments, they add oh yeah, but I did this or said this. And you realize that they actually are the asshole. I have found that out, that sometimes it is. And I'm going to read one to you now that I actually, when I read the title, I made an assumption, and then it wasn't exactly what I thought. So I do it myself when I just even read the titles. So I'm going to share one with you. You ready, Jared? Oh, wrong. Nope.
All right, let's see this. Am I the asshole for calling? Oh, it went away. I was going to read the title to see, because here's the thing. Sometimes I have bias. I'm going to go ahead and read the title aloud on this one, and we'll see what kind of feeling I get just from it. Because let's be honest, a lot of people will set the title to set a tone.
They will.
So let's see what tone this one sets up.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Is it big enough for you to read?
Yep. Yeah, I can get the title. So, am I the asshole? Girlfriend won't let dogs sleep in our room. Oh, okay.
So you think you know, right?
you get an initial base that why would that be? Well, animal lovers would think, why is that an issue?
Exactly.
But as someone who has had an exorbitant number of dogs at one point before, there's more to this story.
There, and I'm going to read it to you now and tell you what it is. Okay. My girlfriend, who's 20, and I, 21, have been discussing moving in together in the same city. I have 2 dogs, so we were discussing expectations and roles we'd play in the house. The dogs will be my responsibility only and not hers. She likes dogs and is sweet to them. But last night we had a disagreement about sleeping arrangements. She said my dogs can't sleep in our room. She doesn't want them on the bed, and neither do I, but she won't even say yes to them on the floor. I have each of them for 8 years, and they've spent almost every night of their sleeping in the same room as me. If I were to kick them out of the room, they would make a huge fuss and keep us up. She said it's not negotiable, so I said I'll just sleep in the second bedroom with them. But that upset her too, that I would sleep with them over her. Am I the asshole for standing my ground about this? My dogs are my family. One of them is 11, on his last legs years, and I feel mean for making my old pups change what they've been doing their entire life. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I should take the hot seat on this one and go first.
Go for it, because I think my read of this might surprise some people.
My read is, I love dogs. I have dogs. I'll just put that out there right up so you can't call me dog haters when I actually say I'm sorry. The girlfriend that you are in, that's a relationship. That's a human being. There may be a reason she doesn't want them in the bedroom. And I would also be upset if you chose the dogs. I do understand they're older and everything, but it is only to sleep at night. They still have full roam of the house. She has accepted the dogs into your relationship, and honor your relationship. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. So I'm going to say both of them are assholes, just in different ways.
True.
So there's no person that's not the asshole in this one.
Except the dogs, maybe.
Well, the dogs don't count on that. Because so here, let's start with the poster. Dude, why the fuck are you two moving in together?
Exactly. Almost all these threads, right, Jared? They don't talk to each other. Like, what the hell? Every single time, like, it's about a man and a woman. I'm like, you people don't talk. Like, why are you even together? Like, why?
If you're okay, so this is actually something. Who was it? Amy Lou said, I would suggest hold off on moving in together. Exactly. At this point, if you're at that point of a relationship where the discussion of moving in together is there, and this is such an issue that is such a hardline issue between you two, not just why are you moving in together, why are you even together in the first place? Because one of two things, you either need to be in complete agreement on how to handle situations concerning pets, or you need to be flexible on them, because this leads to how you're going to handle the importance of having a child together.
Yeah, if you can't handle dogs, how are you going to do that? I totally agree. And it's the lack of communication often makes me agree that both people involved in the scenario are assholes for different reasons. But she's being clear. I mean, I will give her a little bit of a benefit of a doubt. She's being very clear.
And that's where I say, yeah, okay, she is clear in her communication that is a line. That is a situation that is a no-go for her. Same question applies to her. Why? Why are you together? Why are you considering moving in? And why didn't you know that was the situation he was with the dogs prior to it?
That's my question, because they've been in a relationship prior for a few months if they're just deciding to live together. So they must have spent time together in each other's spaces, correct? And she knew he had these two dogs, or I would hope so. And she may have stayed over, and did the dogs not sleep in the room then? You know, but still, that still doesn't negate her right in a shared space not to have them in the bedroom. Like, I'm still gonna side with, you know, I love the dogs too, but if there's a reason she doesn't want them in the bedroom, it's one room. I don't know. She didn't say. So, like,
and that's where the conversation needs to happen. And either she's the asshole for not saying why, or he's the asshole for not putting what she said is the reason in the post.
It is.
Even as an edit or a comment after. Mm-hmm. So concerning that, someone's the asshole. We just can't determine which, because it could be either of them.
It could be. Austin James says, it sounds like a control issue to me. Are you meaning, I think he's meaning on the girlfriend side. And I could see that, because she's like just the one room. But then I think, you know, there just maybe she's got an issue from her childhood that she just doesn't trust dogs for some reason.
And that's where, if you're moving in together, that's the type of stuff that you should know about the other person by that point.
Right. And I think it should have been talked about well before. Like, well, maybe they're in the negotiation now. Maybe that's why it's on an AITA thread. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
And if that's the case, great. Learn from it. Grow from it. Maybe it'll make the relationship stronger. However, advice to her. Advice to someone who may not understand the psychology of a dog in the way that surprisingly I do, thanks to circumstances that I unknowingly but willingly got into. Dogs are very much creatures of habit.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to break a dog of their habit, especially later in life, you are fighting a losing battle. Very much so. And this is coming from someone who's had experience as a breeder with my wife at her grooming salon and helping with behavioral changes in animals. There is a lot that goes into it that people generally are not aware of,
Right.
either due to ignorance or lack of experience.
Mm-hmm.
If a dog is used to a simple thing like the fur ball that's right next to my foot right now, if I tried to break her of her habit of sitting on the couch upstairs when I'm sitting on it, that's going to be a losing battle, because we've had the rule in the house that there's one couch that the dogs are allowed to sit on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dog couch. So, and anyone who is new coming over, we let them know, you sit down on that couch, you might have one of the dogs jump up there and join you.
Exactly.
It's a 95% possibility of it. That 5% is them being outside. So but that's the thing, is there are rules, and the dog lives here. You don't. You need to adjust to the way that the dogs are allowed to handle. And as someone new moving in together, like say I was single, still had the dogs, whoever I was dating and considering moving in with, this is the lifestyle that my pets are used to. I am not changing their lifestyle. I will change certain things of my behaviors to better fit with you, but we both have to be able to compromise. I am not going to be the only one compromising because of what you want. It's a mutual go between. It's a two-way street. There needs to be compromise both ways, but you also need to be able to have the communication, have the conversations to get to that common ground, to get to those compromises.
Exactly. I don't see how it didn't come up while they were having moments together months before they're getting ready to live together. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Jersey Jojo says it's, based on what Austin said about it being a control issue. She says, I bet she'll have a whole nother list of rules she drops on them once they move in, because it is, although I still think she has the right not to sleep with animals if she doesn't want to, I do strongly feel this should have all been addressed during this dating that they were doing. Like it had to be obvious how much these dogs meant to him during their dating, Hawkskull has a point. It's possible she doesn't want the dogs to watch the intimate moments. I can understand that. I don't want anybody staring at me besides my partner.
Yep. And I completely understand that bit, and I agree with that sentiment as well. This is part of why my wife and I made it a conscious effort that the dogs, on occasion, would be allowed in the bedroom, but on the floor. And actually, we designated a spot by actually putting a dog bed there. But it was not an every night thing. It was a once in a while thing. That way, if we wanted to shut them out of the bedroom, the dogs wouldn't go crazy with anxiety, which that's the thing. A sudden change in the environment like that, had they gone through and moved in, guaranteed the dog would have started having behavioral issues that were not there prior to her moving in.
That's right. And you just answered what I was going to ask you, is how would you deal with this for negotiation? But you just answered it by making it a not always out and not always in situation. So they got used to it and that they could compromise. But actually, I don't see these two compromising on this, because she's already pissed off that he's going to go sleep with the dogs. So like, I'm with Amy where they should just cut ties, walk away, and go find true love. Go find somebody who wants to sleep with your dogs.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to be able to ask yourself, why am I in this relationship? Is it worth staying in this relationship? Because that's a thing.
Yeah. I agree with Amy. They probably broke up already. We're discussing it and it's long gone. The only ones happy right now are the dogs.
How old is the post?
It's from this week, but I don't see them really getting past it. So, but Puddle wants to know, what if the dog is prone to gossip with all the other neighborhood dogs? That's an issue.
Well,
you're such a shit sir, Puddle. Oh my God. Oh, Hawkskull's helping. You sit there, you get puppers. Me dives onto the couch head first. Exactly. You can't really keep them. You can't keep them out if you don't want to.
Oh, I'm there with you. When there's a large gathering that there's only a couple people that I even know there, I tend to gravitate towards the pets. And also, pets and animals in general tend to do less shitty things to those around them.
It does.
People suck.
They do. And on that, we didn't even vote on the first one because, Jared, you got me all excited about being so funny and agreeing with me so much. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm used to I don't know what to do. This is new for me. That you're saying everything I would want to say. It's fantastic. So I apologize, chat. Jared's knocked me off my game. First time in AITA history. Usually can hold my own against anyone, but Jared, I hope you come back so I can get used to it. Because it is you're doing a fantastic job. You're saying all the good shit. It's good. All the good stuff. But on this one, people, please vote for us. Who is the asshole? The writer, which is the gentleman with the dogs. The girlfriend who he's moving in with is number 2. Number 1 would be the writer. Number 2 would be the girlfriend. I usually add a 3 and a 4, but I don't want to put the dogs into this. They're innocent. So, and if number 3, if you just think they're already broken up and, yay porn, because I don't think they're together anymore. Yeah, I forgot to tell you, yay porn is always an answer sometimes around here when we don't know what to say. So, yay porn for number 3. I think, and if you think they're both assholes, do 4, because I already did yay porn for number 3. So,
and don't combine 3 and 4 because we don't want to go into that rule area.
Why not? Wait. Now, don't be being judgmental about.
Hey! I don't kink shame. But if you want to rule 34 pets watching their owners getting it on, that's on you.
This is true. But you know what? Hey, I'm sure pets do it all the time. I'm not shaming anybody. If they want to do it in front, I just can't. I would rather the dog be out of the room. But still, that I don't have any, judgment on anybody who does it in front of their dog. I have no judgment of how they do it, where they do it, why they do it, or who they do it with, to tell you the truth. I just want them all to do it.
As long as it's consenting and everyone is of age,
exactly.
Rock on, playa.
Like, try, do what you want, do what you will. See, we're of the same mind there too. Like, I don't know what to say. It looks like everybody thinks that 3 and 4 for yay porn is popular because nobody wants to weigh in. That's like me. It's like yay porn, and they're divorced, and it's they're separated, and it's yay porn. What number for the dog is the asshole? I didn't put the Puddle. I'm sorry, I didn't put the dogs in there, but you could pick 5 if you want the dogs to be the asshole. Go ahead.
You know what? There is one breed of dog I've seen actually hold a grudge. Standard poodle. You've got to watch out for those intelligent breeds because they will find a way to get even with you without realizing it.
Are they even, I'm going to be a little contrarian here. Are they even dogs? Come on. Is a standard poodle a goddamn dog? Come on. Is it really? Is it really?
I need to introduce you to the Poodette. I need to introduce you to Aurora.
Oh no, not a little dog. I'm talking.
No. Oh no. She's as tall as the labs, but about half the weight. She grew up with labs, so she acts like a regular dog, but she still has that personality of, wait, you want me to do what?
That's what I mean.
No.
All the poodles that I know, and I've known quite a few poodles, and yes, people, I know they're actually dogs, so don't come at me. Don't come at me. The bear's not stupid. I know they're actually dogs. My inference is meaning they do not act like dogs. They don't act typically doggy. Does your poodle act doggy? No, like they act most like they know. They act like they know better than us. Every time I'm around these other poodles, they're always cocking their head and looking at me like,
what's wrong with you?
Right. And they don't listen to a damn. And I'm pretty good with dogs. I have mixed breeds, rescues right now. I'm partial to German Shepherds. I always had them before. Both the dogs I have now are rescues with German Shepherd in them. And I trained them, myself because of special needs that I had. And they're well-behaved dogs, and they do not cock their head at me when I talk to them. Yes, I talk to my dogs. Don't come at me for that either, people. But
so here's the difference, though, and I think you'd probably get the similar read of a husky is just a hyperactive poodle and fluffier.
Right.
You got to look at actually what the breeds have been intended for. Your shepherds, they're working dogs. Give them a job, give them something to do,
right.
And they are happy. They are happier than a pig in shit as long as you give them something to do.
Exactly.
Poodles, huskies, malamutes. The problem with the intelligent breeds is they were actually supposed to be somewhat independent thinkers, like especially huskies and malamutes, because as a sled dog, they're listening to the driver to go hard, go fast in this direction. But they're supposed to know, hey, motherfucker, there's a cliff right there. We ain't listening to you. We're turning.
That's it. I think that's what the thing is with the dogs. Like mine are just, one of them is a Great Pyrenees German Shepherd, and the other one is a Australian Shepherd German Shepherd. Both working breeds. Like they both kind of arrogant. They're smart. They're arrogant. They don't like to be told, but they're very well behaved. But they just don't treat me like I'm just not human. Like I don't know about this poodle that I know. It just does not interact with me like a dog. It's just always giving me what for. Do you know that look I'm talking about? That look like are you for real? Like they're just looking at you like, are you for real? But
that's where it gets funny with our standard is she's the fun police when she wants to be. She will referee other dogs playing, even at the dog park. She will referee other dogs playing when she's in the mood.
But she's like, is she like always in control? Like she's the one in control. That's the part about not being a dog, that I was.
Sometimes she's just there in the middle of it, like, haha, this is fun. Oh, wait a minute. No. You're getting too loud. Like there have been times at the dog park where another dog has been just excitedly vocal in part of play, and she has gone over to that dog and just stared at him like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
This is a quiet zone. Be quiet.
See, they're just taking the lead, and I'm just used to dogs being pack animals where if I'm there, I'm the leader, like I'm the boss. I guess that's what bothers me about that poodle, is that poodle does not consider me the boss at all. That poodle is just disregarding me 100%, like I don't matter at all.
Poodles tend to see themselves, if not as 1A.
Okay, there you go. Do you have to run right at the clock at the hour, or do you have time for another, Jared?
Oh, I have until 6 o'clock. You got
Oh,
you got
so
2 hours of me.
oh Lord, what am I going to do with you for 2 hours? Well, well.
We'll
Huh?
leave that for the special show off air.
Yes, 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 we will. You get me laughing, and I can't even push the buttons on my laptop to get the screen up now. This is going to be tough. Mrs. Cassandra, no, we're not going to go 2 hours. Don't get all excited over there. She loves when we go longer. One of our subs there, Mrs. Cassandra, is very funny. She'll be attending Midnight Madness tonight, that we're doing our first really, really late stream at the request, and it's going to be like a anything goes stream kind of well, I'll just let you know. It's just any weird thing in the news. One of the topics is all of the crazy sex laws throughout the United States that are still on the books, because I like legal issues, and that just seemed
Okay.
like a midnight topic, that might be
That
interesting.
that could be interesting because
I
so my schedule after this, I have my sci-fi related show at right now it's slated for 6:15
mhm,
p.m. Eastern, so in an hour and 20 minutes. Um,
okay. Mhm,
and then after a half-hour break from that, we have Veterans Talk Weekly at about 8:30, 8:45 Eastern tonight.
mhm.
And that will be wrapping up around 11:30.
Oh, are you saying you might pop over?
I might be available for that.
Can I reserve part of my 2 hours for over there? Because that would be quite lit. What do you think, Mrs. Cassandra? Can we have a gentleman come up on the stream with us? Would you enjoy that? I think it would be quite lit. We have quite a few funny people coming. We have Aaron from EKC Productions is going to be by. My friend Chastity from It's Just Chat. Perhaps even Illuminati will be in the chat, at least, if she's free. We have some funny friends. I think it'll be good, and I think you'll enjoy it because it's like this. There's no holes barred. You can say whatever you want without any judgment. On that, I'm going to read the title. Try not to judge. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Am I the asshole for not leaving the break room so my coworker could have her therapy session? Sounds ominous, of course, but
Yeah, this one, just the title alone, the tone, the vibe that I get off of it is, what the fuck?
yeah, don't you often though? I mean, honestly, if you had to say how many times you actually think what the fuck with things you read on Twitter or on YouTube on a daily basis, is it like 1 to 25, 25 to 50,
Oh,
50 to 100,
it,
or off the chart?
it's gotten so frequent that my initial response is what the fuck, that I very rarely actually have that reaction now. But this one, I'm curious as to what actually happened.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna let you know. It is what the fuck. Well, I tell you that. Been working at this shop for 2 years. It's been less of us since COVID. Usually only 3 or 4 of us in the morning until late afternoon. I'm a 25-year-old male, to be honest. This week was tiring as hell, and I have a 5-month-old son with my girlfriend, and getting him to sleep has been a challenge this week. With both of us taking turns at night, I've only gotten about 4 hours of sleep on average. So today, I was fucking exhausted, just praying for my lunch break so I could head to the break room for a nap. One of my coworkers, quote, Angela, who usually works till closing, was already there, but her shift wasn't started for like another half hour, I think. She asked me if I could take my lunch outside on the bench because she's about to start a video call therapy session. It's 84 degrees outside today. I told her I'm tired. My baby had me up all night. And honestly, I'm just trying to nap. So don't worry about me hearing anything. I even showed her my headphones since I like listening to ambient music when I sleep. So really, it's not as if I was going to listen to her. Angela was getting mad since she didn't feel comfortable talking about anything confidential with me around. So I said, okay, then go outside and have your session. She didn't want to for some reason. I didn't, and kept telling me to stop being a dick, that it's for her mental health. I was already irritated. This was wasting my time, so I just sat down on one of my chairs away from her, told her to do whatever she wants, turned up my music, and went to sleep. I did hear the door slamming a minute later, so yeah, she did leave. Now Angela stayed mad at me all day, telling me I was inconsiderate for not helping her make the therapy session go easier for her. Yeah, I didn't help, but at the same time, I just wanted to rest, and still not sure if that means I'm an asshole. And there are no edits on this one, no update. It's a tough one.
This is a rather interesting situation that actually has a lot of questions that have already started popping up in chat. Like,
let's see, what are they asking? I'm gonna try to pull them up. You know, StreamYard chat freezes a lot, and it's like,
So from Mr. Serious, why is therapy being done in the break room?
Point. Yes. That is, and it's before work. Why are you doing it at work? Why is it being done in the break room? She should take her ass out to the car. I hear you.
I can't disagree with any of that, and I do feel for the guy a bit, because having a young one messing with your sleep schedule, welcome to parenthood. I will be an asshole towards him on that one. Welcome to parenthood. It ain't gonna end anytime soon. But at the same time, I can sympathize, because yeah, it is very tough to be a civil human being when you're dealing with sleep deprivation and no alcohol.
Right. This is true, with no alcohol. This is true. On whether you're the father or the mother, I could see that totally. But I think the issue here is, and I kind of agree with Mr. Serious, and I'm going to take a hard stand here, because there's a couple of points. One, she wasn't on the clock yet at work. He has use of the break room because he's actually on the clock at work. It's his break room, if you want to get technical about it. She's not even on the clock yet. She does have a vehicle. She could do it outside. I understand you have to do telehealth wherever, whenever you can, and she needed a space to do that. And in no way do I want to interfere with her therapy session and her mental health. But it's her therapy session, and it's up to her to do it in a way that she can, and there are other facilities. I want her to get her therapy session in a way that she needs it, but I don't think she's entitled to beat anybody up with it. I don't think it's his responsibility to make sure she gets it. I don't. I think she's not being very considerate of his situation either. And that was offensive to me, because it's almost like I have mental health issues, so you don't have an issue as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you and the chat on this. I mean, while the guy could have probably worded things a little better, not the asshole. She was. Because right here, Sunny D, she's early for work. Break room is for breaks. Right. She could go outside or in her car. Entitled much?
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly it. Is unless you have a dedicated space for those sorts of private or privileged communications for people who are, say, on a production floor, you can't commandeer a communal space like that without some sort of notice being done in that sort of environment. Coming into work early, that's fine. If you're coming into work early to not be at home or because of when this session was scheduled for and it can't be rescheduled, talk to your supervisor. Talk to your direct management and see what accommodations can be made. And if accommodations cannot be made inside the building, guess what? Guess what, Cupcake? How'd you get to work?
You did not just cupcake. I get it, but please
that's
don't
the thing.
call her Cupcake.
Oh, well, no. So here's my reasoning behind that one. If you're gonna be a cunt, I'm gonna be a dick.
True, exactly. And she did call him a dick. So if he did call her a cupcake, I'd be all behind it. I would actually at that moment. But it seems like the chat agrees with both of us. We don't think that it is. We're not slamming that she has issues, but her entitlement to take over the break room at work before she's even on shift. And what if anybody else came in to eat lunch? What if the boss came in and wanted to get a cup of coffee? And he's going to hear about all her stuff. Like, why is she, making it like this poor gentleman, like he doesn't have any rights to the break room? There are other people there, too. There are at least, he said 3 or 4. So there's at least 2 other people or 3 other people in the building that could come in at any time. And it's up to her to schedule her shit appropriately, as Amy Lou just said. Schedule your shit appropriately. It's your shit. Take care of it. And I feel for your shit. I want you to handle your shit. I will help you support the handling of your shit, but don't make it like I don't got shit. You know what I mean?
I am all for people talking to what they need to, doing what they need to for their own mental health and mental well-being. We need more people promoting and acknowledging that sometimes you need that help. Sometimes you need to have a therapist. Sometimes you need these things to help you. This is not denigrating that.
Nope.
All right. This is a blanket way that I like to put it because it is fitting for so many situations. This is one of them. Also evaluating the Constitution and legalities and how rights are actually handled is another one. Your rights end where my rights begin.
Yeah, that's the line, right? There's a river runs through there, yeah?
Yeah.
That's the tough one. And it's really hard to get people to understand that your rights don't get to supersede my rights. Our rights are equal, people. They're equal. So you don't get to push your right over mine, and I don't get to push mine over yours,
Yeah.
That's what equal means, yeah? Not how they like to say that, because as a woman, I don't think that my rights to try to make it stronger to get equality means that I should make anything less of your rights, right, Jared? That doesn't mean you don't get to do. That doesn't mean you don't get the same opportunities or any of the opportunities you have. I shouldn't have to take anything away from you to get my equality. That's how I look at it. It should not have anything to do with taking anything from you.
Correct. If you have to drag someone down in order to lift up another person, you're doing it wrong.
There you go.
It really is as simple as that. You do not lift up any individual, group, or conclave by denigrating another. You lift them up by supporting them and doing the work that they need and they want to bring them up into a standing that they are on equal footing with whatever else. Equality is a very difficult thing to parse out because there are some groups who, quite frankly, want you to fucking stop.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And there are other groups that want me to continue, but do it in such a way that I can't even abide by their tactics because they're taking rights away from you to do it, or disparaging you in a way to make my rights better. And I don't agree with that either. Boy, I would love to hear what you thought about, this legal thing with these rights, with the Fifth Amendment and the Bill Cosby overturning. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's actually probably going to end up coming up on the VTW stream because we actually do tend to touch on the political and legal topics there quite often when they come up.
Mm-hmm.
And we all, with a couple rare exceptions, every panel member on that stream is either current or former active duty military somewhere in the world. And that leads to a certain perspective on these things.
Right.
Now, that's a really dicey one because he pretty much got it. It sucks because he admitted to doing shit that is worthy of criminal prosecution and punishment. However, the only reason why he said that shit and admitted to it is because he was offered and told that he had immunity from criminal prosecution.
Exactly. And that Fifth Amendment is serious stuff. And I'm with you. I think you go in the same direction as me. They had no choice but to hold the prosecutor to a higher standard. He's the damn prosecutor. It's law and order. We have to hold him to a higher standard. And he needed to honor that agreement.
If I remember correctly, the prosecutor who gave him the deal and gave Cosby the immunity was not the one who prosecuted him.
He wasn't, but it's the office. It's the office. It doesn't matter who's sitting there. And people don't understand that, but that's the crust of it. It's that office, and they have to do it. They had to. Justice isn't being served on either end with this one because, first of all, Cosby got that agreement. It should have been in writing, and this wouldn't be an issue, would it? Like, it was a verbal agreement.
Well, and this is where all these conversations and in those situations end up getting recorded, which is a good thing on both sides because, getting back to the Me Too thing, my tolerance for innocent people being punished is none. Mm-hmm. If that means the occasional outlier of someone who's guilty gets away for the interim, because if they're guilty, they're going to screw up again at some point. It's the nature of human behavior. As long as no one is wrongly convicted and wrongly punished, right, then okay. My tolerance for innocent people being punished for things that they didn't do is zero.
Yeah. It should be that way. And that's why we have the Fifth Amendment, all these. This is why you have to hold the prosecutor's office to a higher standard. He made the agreement. He can't go back. The prosecutor's office gets to decide whether you're charged or not. They have the evidence in front of them. They get to go forward. They are the decision, which is why they need to be held to a higher standard. That law and order thing needs to be rigid with them. There is no wiggle room. You can't say, but he's guilty, so I went forward. No, you can't. If he did it, yeah, but you going forward just made it so now they can't retry that case.
And that's the thing. It's that case. And this is where I look at the prosecutor's office and go, are you guys really that idiotically impatient? Because once that civil case was taken care of, because that's what it was a civil case. Mm-hmm. What makes you think another victim wasn't going to come forward? And guess what? Then that deposition he gave in the civil case can be used as evidence of a pattern of behavior in the next criminal case.
Right, just not in that one. Right, and so it messed it up. It seriously messed it up. And then also it stunk a little politically too, how long it took and what happened. That it's kind of doesn't sit right with me that it took so long for Cosby's lawyers to bring this to the forefront. And then also to slam the process in itself in the articles that are being printed by saying they shouldn't have had multiple witnesses coming forward anyway with the same stories because it was character assassination. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how are you supposed to prove pattern? And if somebody does something to 5 people independently and it just happens to be the same, that's not character assassination. That's like, dude, this is a witness saying you did it. Like, it's not
character assassination has this nasty little caveat of being untrue.
But see, if it's true, it's not a character assassination, right? I think
exactly.
You're saying the same thing I am.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like,
exactly.
So who paid who to put that in those articles to try to get other people not to prosecute Cosby on the rest of the charges? That's what I want to know. But this stinks. It stinks really, really bad to me because that shouldn't have been in there. That was like a warning. That was like a warning shot to me when I read it. But, you know, I just have that crazy kind of brain that just looks for this crazy kind of legal stuff. I don't know. But that's what it seemed like to me. Just seemed wrong on all levels.
Yeah.
So who's the asshole in this one, people?
One for the original poster, two for the wonderfully eager beaver who showed up to work early.
She was a beaver, all right.
That is one way to describe it.
Well, I wasn't going to say the other word. If I was English, I could. But no, I don't use it. I don't use it. I don't use it as casually here in the States, do we?
No, we don't. Which,
although I agree, she kind of was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think she was out of line. She's very entitled. I want her to get her session, but she does not own that space. She's early. There's other people that work there. She was just wrong, and she totally disregarded him as whatever might be going on with him, and I don't go with that.
See, now Mr. Serious coming in with the real questions. Were there any dogs in this one?
I don't know. If they weren't allowed in the break room, so there's another issue. We'll have to bring that up at another time. But I didn't see anything about the dogs in there. Yeah, jeez. Always throwing that wrench at me, Mr. Serious. It's like, well, I don't know. This has been fun, though. This has been a lot of fun. I hope you consider coming back for anything that I'm doing, because I really had a good time. I really did. I was surprised. I'm very surprised. I don't want to say that I prejudge, because I don't. But you don't talk to somebody. You don't actually know how things are going to go. And I'll admit, Jared, I had first date jitters, man. I was really nervous. I was like, this could be good. This could be really good, or this could be really bad. But would you consider it was a successful first, let's just call it stream date?
I'd agree. And that's where I am looking forward to coming back. The only thing that is going to determine that is availability for what my schedule's like. Because I know in the next few weeks, my weekends are pretty busy. Combination work and other things that I have going on. But there will definitely be a time where I make a return appearance.
I would really love that. And if I'm ever doing a midnight stream and you're in the area, come on by. More than open invite. You just you know where I am on Twitter and on Discord. You hit me up. I'll send you a link, because you're quite the gentleman, and with great presence of saying exactly how you feel, which is something I admire extremely. And it makes everything successful. And on that note, I'm going to put our outro on, and if you want to join people in the chat for a minute before you go, but I thank you again, because this was really enjoyable. And thanks for answering the call for a man in real man-like style. You did. Thank you for bringing it.
Not a problem. It was certainly an enjoyable and fun time, and I am not going to take anything from you on this. I think at this point, I'm going to save all my Am I the Asshole readings for when I'm here, because, I know there are going to be some doozies out there.
Well, bring them. Anyone can bring them. I tell them all the time, if you want to come, bring them and do them. Everybody in the chat knows. I tell them, everybody in the chat, everybody on Twitter, on YouTube, bring them. I mean, I'm brave when it comes to reading no's. There isn't a subject I won't go when it comes to Am I the Asshole? There's not one I won't touch. So bring it. I would love that. I would really love that. So, okay. Thank you again. I am going to put on our outro, and I'm going to see you in chat if you have a few moments. Yeah?
Oh, I'm there sharing all the cute furry animals that I would love to have as a pet, but realize I'm not allowed.
You're not allowed. I'm fascinated by otters. I am like otter obsessed. I admit it. I am utterly obsessed with otters. They
Otters
are
are
just
awesome.
they are, and wherever I go in chats now, I get otters, and it's so nice because they just make me feel happy. Then people throw them at me constantly, so it's great. I like to get hit with otters, so I'm gonna go in the chat and hang out with some otters. I'll see you over there in a second. Okay, bye everybody, and thank you.